what have been the key takeaways from the Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi's United States state visit, and what are the expectations from here onwards? I earlier spoke to Tim Roemer, who is the former US ambassador to India. He also attended the Prime Minister's luncheon engagement with the Vice President Kamala Harris and the US Secretary of State Antony Blinken. He also told us more about his conversation with the Indian Prime Minister. Listen in. With India and the United States further cementing their partnership on multiple levels, with me is a very special guest, former ambassador to India, former US ambassador to India, Tim Roemer. Thanks very much. Speaking of deepening trust, ISET has been a very integral part of that effort. What do you make of the fact that we are seeing defense cooperation between the two sides propelling the strategic partnership to the extent that it is right now?
Well, we saw this and we built this back when I was ambassador with Manmohan Singh as prime minister. One of the great things about this relationship is it's bipartisan in America, it's bipartisan in India. We support the tenets and the pillars of this relationship. The defense part, the security part is more and more important all the time. India is a global power. They're not a rising power. They are risen. They are a global power. We want to work with them on common goals like peace, prosperity, freedom of navigation in the Indo-Pacific. And we happen to see the world in a similar vein oftentimes. Even though we're from different parts of the world. We see an aggressive China. We see coalition building opportunities on climate change and energy, skilling for our young people, all kinds of opportunities to build security ties, computing, high tech, the technology of the future. India and the United States are building these opportunities for the next 20 years now, whereas we are pulling away from China. India is pulling away from apps and technology with China. So are we. So we're seeing the world in a similar fashion.
Speaking of the hurdles and lifting of barriers, which has been something that's been talked about extensively, and the need to do that, do you see that happening from here onwards at the pace at which it should?
I do. I really do. Last night at the dinner, today, we're able to talk to Indian interlocutors about areas that we need to work on. Do we see the Ukraine war in the same way? No, we see it a little bit differently. How do we work toward common goals to get peace in Ukraine? Mr. Modi could play a key role in that. He has leverage in buying Russian oil. He's got a good relationship with Mr. Putin. He could be a key piece of bringing that war to a close at some point. How do we talk these issues through with him and encourage his participation in something like that? We also recognize that India is the president of the G20. We want India to succeed in that. We want them to look good to the world, to the South in this leadership position. How does the United States work together with India on coalition issues and bilateral issues, food security, water security, poverty issues, to make sure India succeeds in this role of really important leadership on the G20.
What was your conversation with the Indian Prime Minister like during his state visit here?
It was amazing to talk to him about how successful this visit's been, how he has been received here in the United States of America. 5,000-6,000 people on the White House lawn. I don't think we've ever seen that before. And people yelling Modi, Modi, Modi on the White House lawn. The flags, United States and Indian flags, all over Washington, D.C., flying together. That's an inspirational moment and scene. And one of the things I said to Mr. Modi last night at the state dinner was, not only is this a history-making visit, something we'll be proud of in 25 years, but he has a very strong team. He has a strong team of smart policymakers like Dr. Jaishankar, like Jeet Doval, that help us come up with these ideas and then implement them.
Ambassador, pleasure speaking with you. Thanks very much.
Thank you, Molly.
Thank you.
Take care.
Thank you. WION now available in your country. Download the app now. Get all the updates on the move.